Hi, everybody. I'm Neil from Your Gray Matters. We have an exciting show this week. Carrie Soave, a recognized real estate specialist, but she's also a mentor, a teacher of both her sales team and her lucky clients. But now she brings AI into the picture. Join us for a really interesting talk on how AI can help you make better decisions with real estate. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm Neil from Your Gray Matters. Welcome back. And you know, whether you have gray hair or no hair or red hair, but come on, we know what's under there. We love to bring you some great opportunities to learn and have some fun. A number of years ago, I met this young lady who you see sitting on the camera, and her name's Carrie Soave. Carrie, how do you say your last name? I want everybody to know.
Sauve.
Soave. Known Carrie for years. Carrie is not only a consummate professional in real estate sales and investment. I've known her for years. I can tell you, as a mortgage broker, I greatly respect her work. But actually, Carrie is tremendous at mentoring. She mentors her clients, she mentors her colleagues. She was just down in Vegas speaking at a big event for her real estate company. Very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Carrie. She does great. And Carrie, welcome to the show. We're really glad to have you on Your Gray Matters.
Thank you so much, Neil. I'm so happy to be on here. I'm a huge supporter of you and everything that you do. And I love having our phone conversations. So I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this will just be one of our crazy conversations, but with a very serious purpose, which is, of course, right now, there's a lot of talk about housing and the lack of affordable housing. And, I always tell people, I have this gray hair. I earned every bloody one of them. And so did all the people our age. And some people have their pensions and their futures tied up in how much they sell their house for. So it's bittersweet. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to tell you, I'm going to brag about Carrie for a minute while you think about that, Carrie. Carrie's been doing real estate for 13 years. She must have started very young, and she loves residential and she loves commercial. But as I said, she's really known as a mentor, a teacher, a coach. And she's recently became an AI expert, and she's teaching it. And part of the podcast today for all of us is to see how we consumers might take advantage of AI when it comes to real estate. And some of you might be wearing both hats. You might be a real estate professional yourself. But I can tell you that she's been recognized in the top 10 AI real estate professionals in Ontario for years. So she's someone to speak to. Carrie, welcome again. We're glad to have you. I want to ask you something, Carrie. Most of our show is watched by seniors.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, most of the seniors who I know, I was going to say to you, mostly are in the process of selling as opposed to buying. But I rethought that because even I get involved in real estate investing. So tell me what you think about the market right now and how it might affect seniors.
Well, obviously, downsizers are a huge demographic of the buyers and sellers right now in this market. They're, empty nesters. They may be downsizing because they have too much room. They may be downsizing to free up funds for their quality of life, right? Live your best life. Whatever the reason is, there's a lot of anxiety around seniors having to sell for less money than they could have maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? Or a huge boom. But, I just have to remind everybody, when you sell lower, you're also buying lower. And this market comes with an advantage for seniors and downsizers, actually a major advantage. So they're downsizing, they're maybe getting $100,000, maybe $200,000 less than they could have 2 and 3 years ago. But they're also going to buy a smaller place if they are going to buy like a bungalow or a condo. Those prices aren't just lower, but they're also, there's no competition right now. So there's some really, really good deals to be had out there right now. And hopefully they're downsizing and they don't need a mortgage. So there's also that bonus. They're cash buyers. The condos are selling for super cheap right now, especially in Southern Ontario. I imagine in Toronto as well. It's not my market, but you know, you can find some amazing, amazing deals. And if you're a boomer and you are an investor, okay, there's a ton of assignments out there available. And what an assignment sale is somebody has purchased pre-construction, right? Maybe 2 years ago. It's coming up for closing and they cannot get the funds. They can't find the financing, or they can't afford the financing that they can get. So boomers maybe have a little extra money and they can buy that contract from that buyer and close.
So now sorry, I was going to say, you raised something really, really interesting, Carrie. Even I hadn't thought of this. Most of my friends who I've met and spoken with as a senior think that they're going to sell, pocket, hopefully as much as possible. But then the concern comes, where do I go? And a lot of the people I speak to are thinking renting, but renting, even in Hamilton, is a fortune. And to me, it's always been an issue with me personally, is so I'm just giving somebody else my money to let their bank account grow. I'm just paying for a roof over my head. You just said that there are properties that perhaps in the past a senior who's selling would not have considered, but this is an interesting potential play to own again something smaller but pay a very advantaged price. I think that that's what you're saying.
Yeah, Neil, so you're the mortgage guy. So I'm going to ask you to follow me along on this because
Okay.
I'm not sure of the numbers. But if they're selling their whatever 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-story home, whatever it is, and they were originally going to think of renting. In Niagara, let's talk about Niagara Falls, okay? In Niagara Falls, the average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in an older building is going to be in the mid 2000s, if not close to 3,000.
Wow.
On the other hand, there are some serious deals on condos right now. Because first-time home buyers, if they can get a detached home between $400,000 and $500,000 as their starter home, they're no longer going for the condo. So it's pushing the condo prices down. We're seeing condo prices anywhere from 300 to like mid 4s for a 2-bedroom. And that's a new condo. You know, these are nice condos. So financially, again, you're the mortgage guy, but what would make more sense on a monthly payment situation? And then you're adding in the added bonus of building equity over time as well. So we have to also consider that. So what do you think?
Sure, exactly. In that case, it appears for sure that it makes more sense to purchase. Again, everybody's situation is different, of course, but logic and mathematics suggest that one should at least look at it when perhaps up till now you're thinking of just renting and investing. Everybody knows who follows this podcast, Carrie, that Linda and I like to do passive, ongoing investment. So we don't worry about the stock market. We don't worry about even fixing toilets or having tenants in our case. We just have fixed rate, ongoing income. But what you're saying is for people that actually you might do just as well purchasing a lower cost property that's going to grow in value over the years at a much reduced rate, in this case in beautiful Niagara Falls. And that does indeed open up a very interesting thought process that maybe people had not considered at this point.
Yeah.
And so thank you for that. I think it's really important from a mortgage point of view. Of course, we have no idea what's going on, but the bank rate did not go up as of yesterday. We're recording this podcast on October 26, 2023. And we are wondering if the interest rates are going to go up right now. We're hoping that they're not. So if you package that, if that's true, and nobody has a crystal ball, then what you just said makes a whole lot of sense. And also for investors, if you're looking for a second or a third or a fourth property to rent out, you could get a good price and beat the average rent in other properties and be renting out your properties.
Yeah, and assignments is a real good option because these are builders, they're brand new, never lived in condos or towns, and they're closing soon, and the original buyer can't close. You know, some people are walking away from their deposit.
Yeah.
And just assigning it over at a loss. That's happening a lot. I actually have boomer investors that specialize in these acquisitions. And, you know, I do want to point out something, you know, I want to talk about the rental market,
Yeah.
because I have mixed feelings, personal mixed feelings about having rentals as an investment. I feel like if you're going to do that, you need to be very aware of how broken our LTB system is,
Yep.
what the dangers are, what the risks are, what the rules are. And you need an advisor who knows how to navigate this. Time and time again, I'm seeing realtors advising their clients on rentals that do not know the rules at all, right? Or they may be, you know, careless with their decisions.
Yeah.
And I've along the way, because I've had some bad experiences along the way, through my paralegal, through, you know, just learning. I'm a learner. So like, if I want to know something, I'm going to research it for months. And I've come across some really good tools that will help anybody that is going to rent out a property or, you know, purchase an investment property to rent. There are some really great resources out there. A lot of people don't know about. You can search tenants' names and find judgments on a couple of sites. A lot of people don't know about these sites. Not enough people know about them. One of them is family, one of them's open room. Very valuable, because if there has been an LTB judgment, whether it's been paid or not, their names are going to show up. It's a quick name search. It takes you 2 seconds. And then there are companies like Single Key that will even insure the rent and damages.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. This is great info. See, folks, now you know why I asked Carrie to come on, because her knowledge is terrific. And, you know, there are other programs too that don't show anything about the potential tenant, but I know that we like to use Purview as also a product that we use when we're looking at the actual property itself. So there are different things that can be done. But I love what you just said as a gray hair. I have to say that's fascinating what you just said about how to make use of this market when a senior is deciding what to do with their property and where to go next. I find the living outdoors is just not a good answer. It's just not the right answer.
I feel like your house is an investment. Yeah, it's your home, but it's also an investment.
Yep.
And if that investment isn't bringing in optimized returns, maybe it's time to switch it up. So if you and your wife are in a 4-bedroom, 2,800 square foot home by yourselves, is that the best use of that equity, of that money, right? So you have to consider that. So I do commercial real estate as well. So I tend to look at things a little bit less emotional on the residential side.
Yes.
So that's a little bit of a job hazard, but it brings a different perspective to the table when I have clients that are driven and motivated purely on emotions as well.
Sure. And you're well-rounded, and we have to be. I'm finding right now in the financing business, you really have to be able to listen to people's stories. You want to help them, but you also have to get down to the business of getting the money for them if they qualify. And it has to be done properly, of course. And certainly we're seeing, at least I can only speak for me, we're not seeing as many mortgages for new properties as we are as people who need to get money out of their home. But some of those people we're helping, they're taking equity out of their home so that they can buy more properties. And that's just interesting right now. I find that even though the market is to me confusing right now, it always offers opportunities. That's why I love real estate. Always offers opportunities. I'm sure that you would agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has to remember that real estate should be a long-term game,
Oh yeah.
right? Like if you're buying a piece of real estate and you could have to liquidate next year, that's not the right investment for you.
That's exactly right. And you're very
Yeah.
wise. Even when we look at the real estate investments where someone's investing in commercial or they're just looking for passive income, they got to be in for the ride. And now you have to pass a lot of tests by the Ontario Securities Commission and by FSRA to be able to invest. And I am a big proponent of that. It is better to find out beforehand that you're not the right person than after. But let me say this, Carrie. I asked you to come on because you're also really a tool for people who want to understand real estate, or they do understand it and they want to do more. But you're a young, I'm going to be specific here. You're a young female entrepreneur. You've taught a lot of people. I've met some of your sales team over the years. I watch how you motivate and teach them. You've always been up on things, but AI is something that you've clearly fallen in love with, and I'm loving it too. I was in a meeting early this morning about really ramping up my AI for my businesses. I will be coming to you off camera so that you can fix me on the mortgage part of it. Talk to us about AI. Tell us why you love it and what we can learn about it.
So I kind of fell into AI. I don't have a tech background. Takes me a really long time to generally figure stuff out on a computer. But here's what happened. So I've been coaching and teaching social media because that's my thing, right? I've been very active on social media. I run my entire real estate business through social media.
Wow. What does that mean? Wait a minute. What does that mean? How do you do that?
So I generate all my business and maintain my client relationships through content creation on all social media channels.
Okay.
Even my past clients who have my phone number, just because I'm so active on social media, they message me there. So at this point, I feel like I'm running 95% of my business at least through social media. I do it organically. Like, yes, I run ads. That's one of the biggest bonuses for my clients, my sellers, is I know how to run amazing ads for the properties, right?
Okay.
It's all about the organic as well, and creating the community and just being like an ambassador to Hamilton. I managed to do that in Hamilton, and I started teaching, I started coaching. It's kind of like it was the missing piece from my life, from my career. Like it just filled the circle for me. You know what I mean? It's what fulfills me. So I got into that. And the biggest problem, people are very like, oh, well, I don't want to do videos and I'm not comfortable with this. So when AI started coming out, I was like, how can I use this to make my realtors and my, like, first it was all about my realtors and how to make their life easier and get them more comfortable around content creation so they could provide better service to their clients. And it worked. So once I saw it was working, and I was like, I just went head first. I went in deep. I went down the black hole, guys, and I still haven't come out. I feel like I was talking to Neil earlier today about how I'd gone down another black hole on the internet about another AI tool, and it was wild, and I'm so excited about it. So like, I get super excited about this stuff, and I'm like, okay, now how do I apply AI to my entire business? So I created the systems. I just used my head and I figured out what I needed as a realtor and what my clients need. So yeah, and anything to improve the client's experience. That's what this is about, right? And yeah, I'm now teaching, speaking about coaching AI and consulting on AI. And it's actually gone beyond real estate at this point. I have other companies that have nothing to do with real estate hiring me for consulting. And it's because, you know, the systems can be added into any business. It's just a matter of, you know, fitting them.
I think that this is fantastic because Carrie, our listeners and viewers will know that this show came out of my belief that the human mind cannot be defeated. No matter what we come up against, the human mind will find the answer. It may take time, it might come right away, but we will always find the answer. And the podcast is in a belief that we could provide what I call miracles and solutions that already exist, however, where people are finding challenges, especially people who have taken the time to earn gray hair. And, but of course, these challenges affect everybody. When I first heard of AI, I became uncomfortable with it. We've done a podcast already with AI in general. You might know Adam Oldfield from the Tech Talk show.
Yes.
He came on. So I was just with Adam earlier this morning. But he helped me, plus my son who produces this show and edits it, he's more your age. He got me to understand it's another tool. The human mind can't be defeated. We've come up with something else that can do great things. So as a baby boomer, I'm like, so what do my professionals like yourself, what knowledge do they have and what do they do with AI that's going to put more money into my pockets? What am I going to do with AI to put more money in my pockets and have a more comfortable living? And I won't list them all today, but boy, Adam gave me a lot of thoughts. What you're doing has given me a lot of thoughts. I think, Carrie, people just have to be open to the fact that AI is a great tool when used properly.
Can I just say, AI is not some like alien notion and system, okay? All of AI's knowledge is our knowledge. Think of AI as the ultimate collaboration tool.
Here, here.
Right? Because all it's doing is pulling our knowledge from all around the world on every single subject, learning our thought processes, and bringing it all together and making it accessible for all of us. That's really all it's doing. So when you look at all the things that AI can do, yes, okay, there's two ways that I believe you can use AI, okay? The first one is to save you a massive amount of time. It's going to automate repetitive tasks, all of that good stuff. But the other thing that most people really aren't taking advantage on, it will still save you some time, but the point is to massively optimize anything that you're doing in your life and your business.
Okay.
And so it won't save you as much time as the first one, but everything that you are creating with AI is going to be on steroids, basically.
I heard,
I'm,
sorry,
Neil,
go
I'm
ahead.
creating ad copy and hooks that are better. And Adam's going to kill me when he hears this because he was my marketing company. That's better than any marketing company that I've ever used. Okay. And it didn't happen in one prompt. This is an example of it will save you a bit of time. It can either save you a lot of time or it can maximize your output.
Yes,
I'm using it to maximize my output.
fair
I'm
enough.
using it to optimize all of my systems. I'm having conversations with AI about how I can improve my business by channeling the smartest people in the world.
And that
How
then comes down to your clients getting great benefit from all this work that you're doing with AI.
100%, because of everything that I'm creating around their product, which is a home,
Yep.
is optimized at that level. That's amazing, right? But now let's streamline the whole communication process. I feel like there's such a divide between boomers and, you know, I don't even know what they're called, but you know, these
And
different
everybody else.
generations, there's huge communication gaps.
Yes.
We communicate differently. And I find when dealing with a boomer, the communication has to be on point. They want to know what's going on at every second of every day. Things were just done differently when you guys grew up, right?
Yeah, I drive my son crazy because I want to know.
So one of the features that I'm using with AI is streamlined automated communication so that at every single step and when any decision is made, my client automatically knows about it.
Well, you know that full disclosure is
Mhm.
the secret of running a good business. I mean, in the
Right?
mortgage business, we disclose everything. In the real estate business, you do it. And to my mind, you're a good business if you give full disclosure to your clients. If you don't, then you're hiding something. And that's why I've been
Yeah.
actually so happy to brag. Carrie uses AI. It might scare the heck out of you. But on the other hand, I'm using it. My podcast uses AI just for editing purposes. My son does that. As you said, it's not this scary alien thing, although someday we'll have a different topic about my feeling about aliens. But the truth of the matter is, these are amazing tools. You know, a couple of podcasts ago, Carrie, I held this up. I said, "This is paper. This is a pen. This used to be a communication tool." But things have changed. And I'm really glad as a boomer and say, I am really enjoying people who are using AI as well as their natural thing up here to make it make sense because you can have all the AI in the world. But I know that you're thinking about it and you're going through it and you're making sure that even the AI said the right stuff.
Well, it's not just that, Neil. It's that the human element of in all of this is still so large. So
Yes.
a lot of what I'm seeing in every industry, because AI is the new, like, it's white hot, like everybody wants in on this, right? So people that don't even know that much about AI are just throwing tools at people, and that's great. But the real juice is in knowing how to use it, create workflows and systems. Like that's where the money is in AI.
Yes.
Right? If somebody throws 10 AI tools at you, thank you, this is cool, but there's a real chance that it's going to cost you more time than before you had them because
Yeah.
nobody's telling you how to use them, how to combine them, and what your entire workflows should look like. And that's what I'm coming across a lot, and that's where I specialize.
Yes. And you see, you're at that great step where not only are you using it for your own business, but you're bringing this out to your clients,
Mhm.
which is fantastic. At my level, as I said, we're using it to edit even this podcast. That's what my son Jason does, but
Mhm.
among other great things. But the thing is, Carrie, I'm learning to play with it. I'm learning with it. I had it write me out a lead generation program last night for my mortgage business. But
Mhm.
I love a certain poet called Robert Frost. And my son said, you can have that presentation the way Robert Frost would present it. And of course, that's silly, but it does this stuff. It can produce what you need to see in a way that you can actually understand it. Not that I need Robert Frost for that, but I find it so fascinating. It can do
Yeah,
so much.
yeah, so just so you know, for your own business, just like a little tip, everything that I'm generating for my business, absolutely everything right now is coming from data analysis. It's
Right.
starting with analyzing a PDF, a report. It's starting in ChatGPT with the analyzing of massive amounts of data first,
Right.
and then building off that into, now generate. So for instance, for you, for mortgages, you're going to feed it rates. I don't know, what do your reports look like from your board? Is rates. You're going to feed it all the rates. You're going to ask it to give you insights for buyers.
Yes,
You're going to ask you to
exactly.
give you buyer persona. Who's more likely to buy in this market right now?
Hmm.
It's using the data as a basis. Then you're going to have it generate a funnel,
Yep.
landing page copy, ads, even scripts that are detailed to that buyer persona. And that's kind of like what I'm building,
Yeah,
right?
and that makes total sense. I work, Carrie, very much in all facets of mortgages and funding. My the brokerage that I'm with does a great job. My personal interest, though, has ended more over the years, and when the banks say no, where do you go? So I'm using the AI to generate marketing pieces and pieces for people to understand that when the bank says no, it's what I call a comma, not necessarily a period. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where your gray matters came from, because there's many ways and solutions that are available. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that you're using AI to teach and learn more and more for your real estate business and your other interests. I imagine that your team, because you're a mentor of people, are learning it and you're mentoring your clients. And that's what we're doing, at least the way I run my business, which is okay, with my broker, that didn't quite go the way we want. But by the way, not just because of AI, we have tons of knowledge, but here's some other directions. Here's how it works. Full disclosure. Here's what it's going to cost. And I'm fascinated by the number of people who don't quite know that a bank's, no disrespect to banks, but when the banks say no, it's just a comma. It's not necessarily a
Yeah.
period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. It's all our job is to educate,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
How
And,
can we advise without educating?
and
We
I
can't
think,
be responsible.
yes. And Carrie, I think that this is why I wanted to have you on today, because um, a wide mind is needed right now, a capability and a
Mhm.
willingness to learn for our clients first. Leaders lead, leaders are out front, they're not behind pushing. And so the learning of AI now as a tool, I think, in my mind, is something that you owe to your client base and your colleagues to do. And that's why I asked you to come on, because I know that you're a leader in it. It's why I asked Adam to come on about AI, because at Your Gray Matters, we're interested in leading the way to answers and solutions. And boy, oh boy, AI is a big one. I have to agree with
Well,
you.
think about boomers' pain points. Health, I think, is a huge concern for boomers.
Yep.
I would be using the LLMs, which is like ChatGPT, the large language model
Explain
chatbots.
to people what LLM means, please.
So it's a large language model chatbot. So that is your ChatGPT, your Bard, which we don't have in Canada yet, but soon. Claude, you know what I mean? The big hefty ones, and then all of these little job specific tools or niche specific tools that are rolling out by these startups. They're all powered by LLMs.
Okay.
So that's why at first, before tools, I teach the LLMs. There's a whole setup. There's priming that needs to be done. There's framework for prompting. It's called prompt engineering, and there's an actual science to it. So if you know the framework, you can get the better output. But you can ask an LLM anything about anything.
Yes.
If I was a boomer, and let's just say I was like type 2 diabetes or something, because that's what
that's me. Yeah.
I would be asking it because first you have to give it an identity. So I would be giving it an identity. You are the top medical expert in type 2 diabetes in North America or the world.
Right.
I would ask it to give me a plan, a natural plan on how to deal with diabetes. And then I would just start building off of that, right? Yes. Now give me food recommendations. Now give me recipes. Like, it's a whole workflow to get the most out of it. And this can be done for anything. One thing I plan on doing is, learning more about maybe getting a diet plan, like a vegan diet plan, or I don't know, an exercise plan, something, because it can literally channel the experts in any industry.
Yeah.
If there's content out there, it's available to ChatGPT. So yeah, it's wild what you can do.
It's really remarkable. And I thank you for talking about it today, Carrie, because we really do want to take away the fear of something that the human mind has created. And so I thank you for that. I love the idea that you're learning like crazy, as I said, as the leader for your clients, for your team. They didn't just have you on stage in Vegas a week and a half ago solely because of your success in real estate. You really brought something to this discussion with AI, and it's fantastic. Carrie, I wanted to ask you, if people want to get a hold of you and to take advantage of your real estate services, how do you want them to contact you? We will post this, but what's best for you?
So I have a Linktree account. It's like a website that hosts many, many, many links. I have all my social media platforms, my YouTube channel, all my social media platforms, my contact me form, my email. You can pick your poison, right? So I will get that to you.
Carrie, I want to thank you so much for coming on. And folks, I want to encourage you, if you're looking to learn more about real estate or AI or anything that's on your mind having to do with your future with real estate, I suggest that you reach out to Carrie. Carrie is a trusted associate. She has the miles under her feet. And 13 years, I think, in real estate for you. I just entered
14 now.
14, and I just entered year 13 in the mortgage business, actually. And so you get some treadwear, but you learn. Carrie, bless your heart. Thank you so much for coming on Your Gray Matters. And everybody, thanks again. We'll be on next week, of course, every Monday morning. Have a great week. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks for listening to the Your Gray Matters podcast. The Your Gray Matters podcast was created by Neil Silvert and Jason Silvert, written and hosted by Neil Silvert, edited by me, Jason Silvert, and produced by Neil Silvert and Jason Silvert. Please follow us on any major podcast platform Watch us on YouTube, like and subscribe, and email us at yourgraymatterspod@gmail.com with any questions or feedback. Thanks for listening.
Views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the Your Gray Matters podcast. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The Your Gray Matters podcast name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.